I wish we had a couch.
Yeah. That would be kind of neat.
Alex, I always have all these ideas. And they're just dreams. They're not ideas.
I know they're not like
Because
those.
they'll never come true. The shed.
Right, yeah.
That.
I think of all the things you've dreamt up, that's the most realistic. To build an entirely new structure just for podcasts.
No, we don't need to build it. They have big sheds.
Oh, you mean just like get one dropped off?
Drop it off. We got the people that'll put the installation in and the paneling and all that jazz. I mean, I'm so confused why Pastor would say no.
Why you would say no?
Why he would say no?
Yeah, there's no reason.
There's no reason.
You know.
I mean, it might cost a little bit, but
I think a little more than a little bit.
He's like, come on. Well, I'm still gonna ask. I'm gonna still.
Yeah, just bring it up in a board meeting. I think it'll
I just walk in. I have put the plans.
Listen,
We're so big. It's unbelievable.
I have no words to say. Just look at these plans.
0.
Yeah, and then just walk out.
Welcome to the Expansion Project with Alex Oradola and Stephanie Chenis. Listen and process life with us.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
Hey.
Here we are.
Welcome back to the Expansion Project. And we're excited to give you another episode this week. So,
Episode 4.
Episode 4.
We're here live.
We're here live and in action. So we are just chilling today. It's me and Steph and me.
It's been a day.
Yeah, it's been. Can we talk about that? It's been a day. Like we have been.
We can't talk about it. I might cry about it.
So
Sorry.
it's been a busy day.
It's been a day.
And we may talk about it in a minute because we're just gonna chat with you guys
because we're real people going through real things.
But you know how we do. Real quick before we start talk about that, we just want to do a little bit of housekeeping.
Hold on, can I just say?
Yeah, go.
I like how you call it housekeeping.
Yeah, I don't know why. That's the thing. I don't know why.
What is with you love that word?
I don't know. What
housekeeping?
We should call it something else. What do you want to call it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not so easy, is it?
You can't put me on the spot. I'm gonna pray about it. No,
all right, pray about it. Yeah.
All right. Instead of housekeeping, we could be like, we just have a few things to talk about.
Yeah.
Housekeeping it is.
No, we'll workshop it.
If you think we should use another word, email us.
Yes, exactly. You.
Speaking of our email.
Yes, thank you. So, the not housekeeping that we need to do, we want to plug our email, of course. expansionpodcastgtcc@gmail.com. Send us anything you got, questions, comments, concerns.
People really send us the word anything.
Yes, and that's actually what we're going to talk about. So we did get some emails, and we want to share with you some of our favorites this week. In particular, shout out to our very own Amy Vasconcelos.
Yes, hi Amy. Thank you for sending us.
She sent us a very long and detailed message, and I don't want to get any of this wrong, so I'm just going to take it very carefully here. So
listen.
She says
it changed my life.
It did. It changed my life too. I was crying, and
it's unbelievable.
I stopped crying and I started crying again.
Yeah.
She said, and I quote, anything.
Powerful.
That's it.
Wow.
That's all she said.
Anything.
And beautiful. So she said that because last episode I was like, yeah, send us literally anything. And she sent us literally anything.
I mean, at least she listened to us.
Yeah, that's true. I'm happy about it.
You can't fault her. She listened.
Yeah, she
I love that.
She fulfilled the assignment. As the kids say.
But we did get another email.
Yes, a really nice and encouraging email from our very own Ryan Woods.
Hi, Ryan.
What's up, Ryan? You want to read it?
Yeah. So Ryan says, my family and I have been listening to these podcasts, and it's been amazing. You guys rock. Wow. We rock.
That's big.
Ryan loved Pastor Dave's testimony. Powerful. Loved how he answered the question about how Revelation started. They have been great insights and wonderful learning experiences. And he won't be a stranger to this email. He'll be emailing us again, and that's very exciting.
Yes.
And he loves the expansion project.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah, we love that, and we love you.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank
that
you.
was really nice.
And shout out to the fam. Shout out to Joellen and Jess.
Yeah.
We love you guys. Thank you for the kind words. Yeah. Don't be a stranger. Send us more messages. Anything you have, any questions you have, we'd love to engage with you and have a conversation with you guys. We don't want this to be just about us and what we have to say, but we want to talk with you guys. So hit us up. Hit us up. Don't be strangers. Don't be strangers. Yeah. So the other thing that I always plug, that we always plug, is the Apple 5-star reviews. Drop
5
us a
stars.
review.
You know how I feel about the 5 stars.
5. So help me if it's 4 stars.
4.5, we won't take it.
No, that's not acceptable. So
Get
5.
out of here with that.
No, but seriously, rate us whatever you want. But we'd love it if you dropped us a 5-star review. And if you do, and you leave something with that review, like a comment or a statement, anything, we'll read it on the pod. So if you want a shout out, drop us a 5-star review. We'd love to oblige.
We've had a few anonymous 5-star reviews, which is great. But we would really love to know who you are.
Yeah, show yourself.
We want to give you the credit.
Show yourselves.
Give credit where it's due.
Exactly. So, all right. So that's that.
All right, we can go to bed now.
Yeah,
sleep.
I know, right?
I'm going to sleep. Good night.
So Steph kind of mentioned it earlier. I guess we're gonna kind of, break the illusion, whatever that means. But we just recorded an episode a few minutes ago. You're gonna hear it next week.
Bum, bum, bum.
Exactly. So we just recorded an episode, and we actually had an issue with our sound stuff. And I don't want to bore you with the details, but the device that we use is called an interface that translates all the microphone energy and information and translates it into computer. So you can plug your microphone into your computer. That device just decided not to work today. And I still don't know why. It just would not work.
Randomly.
It's relatively new. It's not old, and it just decided to not work. So we had to jerry rig this contraption, and anyway, thank God it works, and thank God we still sound good. But man, that was an adventure. Just hours.
For a second, I was like, I wonder if this is going to happen today.
I know.
And then I thought, because you guys will see next week what our podcast is, but then I was like, do we just wing it?
Yeah.
And just record on a phone?
Yeah,
Like, what do we do?
Rescheduling wasn't really an option.
It's not an option.
Yeah, so we were like, we have 2 hours to figure this out. And so I'm like, it's fine. We'll figure it out. It's fine.
But can I just say, Alex, you made it happen. I don't know. It was like, a miracle in itself.
Yeah.
You just knew exactly what to do, and I just put the wires where you told me to.
Thank you for doing that. You were such a huge help.
I don't know what I was doing. I was just like, all right, stay calm. Stay calm for Alex, please.
No, same here.
Let me feed you.
Yeah, thank you for that too. I was actually starving. So it's been a day, and shout out to Donna. She's actually in the next room. She prayed for us, and that was very helpful.
She made us coffee. She helped us.
Yeah,
out.
she's amazing.
She's great.
But yeah, so we're here, and we recorded the thing, and it sounded great, and it was great, and we're recording another episode, and Steph had the idea when we were talking about what we would do for this one, to talk about anxiety, and it's almost poetic because we decided that before all of that happened.
And then we felt it.
And then we felt it, and I was like, yeah, it's a good topic to talk about. We should talk about it.
But now we don't feel it anymore.
I know. We're like calm and relieved.
So much better.
So yeah, we're just gonna talk a bit about anxiety. This is the expansion project, right? That's the title of the podcast, and we talk about being expanded and growing, and being stretched. And at first, I thought it would be a good idea to talk about anxiety, because it's such a topic that applies to everybody, regardless of where you are in life. But then I really wanted to talk about it after I thought about it, because I realized that anxiety is something that I've been experiencing this year more than I ever have, and to the point where it kind of manifested into something else. But yeah, and obviously, like, we would love to hear from you guys about maybe things that you know about anxiety, experiences that you've had. Obviously, you know how to get in touch with us. Send it to the email, or however you want to do it. But yeah, I just thought it would be a good idea to just chat. Kind of keep it chill and talk about anxiety. So
I agree.
Yeah.
Now that we feel lighter, we can talk about our experiences.
Yeah, without now that we're not in danger.
Just breathe.
Yeah.
Which we probably should have just done.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine. The Lord made a way.
Yeah. So I guess, Steph, what has been your experiences like with anxiety? I know people have varying, degrees of, I guess, engagement with anxiety. Like, do you feel like you experience it more than others, less than others? Is it something that's kind of like a constant in your life? Like, what are your thoughts?
So it's like, it's weird because it happens like when I least expect it. Okay, so like, for instance, like this past Sunday, just like getting up and talking like in front of the church, like I get anxious sometimes when I have to get up and talk in front of people, because I'm not that type of person. I don't like to be in the limelight. I don't want people to see my face. Hence why the podcast is perfect. You can't see me
until we switch to video.
Oh no. Then I'll be worried about everything.
Yeah, I know. Same here.
Talk about anxiety.
Yeah.
But what I can't even tell you like what I felt before I got up there, but I just knew that I had to push through.
Yeah.
Like I literally had to fight it. And sometimes it creeps up when I least expect it. Or my mind plays tricks on me and makes situations or things bigger than they really are. And I can drive myself a little bit bonkers and make myself anxious when I don't even really need to be.
Yeah.
Like I just need to learn to process and also slow down.
Yeah.
And think.
Yeah.
And like I said before, honestly, just breathe.
Yeah.
Because things aren't as big or maybe as bad as we make them in our own minds. And that can cause us to be extremely anxious about situations when we take it to the next level. It's like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, if only I can tell myself that when it actually happens.
Right. Yeah. If I could turn back time.
Easier said than done.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah. It really does feel like, man, it really, you hit the nail on the head, right? It's just like in the moment, it really just feels so real. But then hindsight, right? You look back and you're like, it wasn't, like, none of it really was. I mean, at best, a small majority of it was real, but like so much of it wasn't. And it was just a matter of me just reassessing and calming down, trying to calm down at least, and just seeing it for what it was.
I think sometimes a lot of my anxiety also stems from like past traumas and just thinking like the what ifs. Like, we both lost our dads. So our moms are the only thing we have. So it's like every time like I get a phone call from like either my sister or something's wrong with my mom, I immediately go to like,
oh my gosh, yes.
What happened? And they're like, I just wanted to say hi. And I'm like, oh, that's it?
Wow. It's crazy to know that you experience the same thing.
I experience it all the time.
Wow,
like,
yes.
Please don't call me. Just text me.
Yeah.
I don't want to pick up the phone and receive another bad call.
Oh man, that's
Traumatizing. I
that's
know.
oh my gosh, yeah. That's a big one. Like especially when it's like I talk to my sister often, you know, but there are
Right.
some moments where it's kind of like a weird time to call, or like the worst is when I'm somewhere that she knows that I'm at. Like I'm at, you know, I'm doing youth group or something, and I get a call from her. I'm like, oh no, like what
I
is
know.
this? I get that flare. I'm like, okay. It's just
Or they call and then they text you, call me now. I'm like, why am I calling you now? Tell me now. Tell me now.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
The worst.
Yeah, that's when your mind really starts playing tricks on you.
But see,
So,
it does. It literally, it plays tricks on you. And that's where I feel like sometimes, yeah, my anxiety stems from past traumas. Maybe even like past words that were spoken over me. Like,
Right.
I'm not good enough, or I'll never amount to anything. Although all those things come flooding back.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it stinks too, because you know when you grow up, you kind of think you escape those parts of your life, and it's like you do, right? Like you grow up and like you look back on that part of your life, and you're like, I've grown since then, and I have taken something from that. You know, the words that people have said, not the bad things, but the good things of like, oh, okay, I've forgiven them, I've moved on, I've grown.
Yeah.
That stuff doesn't affect me as much, but you know, for a lot of it, there's some stuff that lingers, and you still kind of have to fight that, you know?
Yeah.
And that in and of itself kind of hurts too, because it's like, that still affects me. You know, I'm still affected by that. And the thing that they said in middle school, right? It's like,
Right.
oh dang, that still cuts. You know,
Yeah.
like that's still, you know, something that I'm running from.
Yeah.
But that's, you know.
It's a process. It takes time to heal.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't expect things to just change in our lives overnight.
Right.
So if something is triggered from a past trauma, it means we still need to like work on that little area.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
why do I know why I freak out when I get like those phone calls or texts. And it's like, I just gotta give that to God.
Yeah.
Like, why am I still holding on to that?
Yeah.
But it's that fear, which I know I shouldn't have, of losing someone again. And it's like, literally, like God just has to take that from me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just got to give it to him too,
Yeah.
and not pick it back up.
Uh-huh. Yeah. No, that's for sure. And it's, you know, I think we also make the mistake of assuming that those parts of us will be fixed immediately. Like
Right.
when we give our lives to Jesus, for example, it's like those things are gone, right? And it's like, no, it's just the healing has begun, and God is there and present in your life. And so the opportunity is there for things to start being fixed and mended and healed.
Yeah.
But there's some things that need more time. And yeah, you're going to have moments where the wound is agitated and you feel that pain deep down. And it's like, oh, dang. You know, the anxiety is still there, and the fear of that happening again is still there.
Right.
Yeah, no, I resonate with what you say, because I kind of mentioned this earlier, but I have struggled with depression a good chunk of my life, but anxiety is a very recent thing for me. Just kind of for information, like everybody experiences anxiety, whether you have anxiety problems or not. Everybody experiences anxiety. It's a part of like who we are as people. It's, you know, it's a number of things, but mainly it's like adrenaline. It's like, hey, you know, your body senses danger, and it's like I need to give you fuel to escape the danger.
Yeah.
Like, I'm giving you the adrenaline you need to run from the bear in the woods, like fight or flight, right?
Right.
The problem is, you know, anxiety can just cause that to keep happening. And it's like, even though you're not in danger, or you were never in danger in the first place, you're still experiencing the effects of that. And it makes things worse, and your thoughts are worse, and everything that you're experiencing, you know, it's just, it doesn't help, because you're not in life-threatening danger. And that is a very layman's, like, not educated explanation of what anxiety is. Please don't take that to the bank. But that is what I've learned for myself. I I felt anxiety for a number of things, right? As we all have.
Yep.
But earlier this year, I started to experience physical symptoms because of anxiety that I was feeling, but that I was ignoring because I
Yeah.
didn't know that's what it was. I just thought I was just nervous or, whatever, just tired or something.
Yeah.
Or, just overthinking. And so after just an extended period of time of just pushing down anxiety and just letting it kind of just burn, after a while, I started feeling things and actual physical symptoms started to manifest. And anyway, the basic idea behind it was, and we just mentioned our dads, and my dad died of COVID, and he was sick. He got sick and very sick and continued to get sick until it was too much and he passed, right? It made me really think about my health. Not to brag, I have a really good immune system. I don't really get sick that often, like ever. And
Lucky.
yeah, yeah, I guess so. I just kind of walk through life. And
Can we switch?
I know. It's not fair. But yeah, I just kind of walk through life and I don't really get sick often. And so my father's death was kind of like this snap to my, my mind. It was just like, that could be me.
Right.
One slip up and that could be me,
Right.
like he died like that. And even as a man of faith, it shook me to my core because he was my rock as far as faith goes. And I don't know how real this is, but it's just, I'm just going to be honest. Like, to see somebody of his status die like that, it shook me.
Yeah.
And it was just like, dang, like I could, like, is that what's going to happen to him? Like, what could happen to me?
Right.
And this idea, I didn't want my family to go through that again.
Right.
So anyway, that anxiety manifested when I started to feel chest pains. I started to feel really like painful chest pains in a very specific part of my chest on my left side. And I'm like, oh boy, that's a heart thing. Like that's clearly what this is. Like my diet is great and now I'm paying for it. Oh no, too much pizza. And so I was just like, all right, let me just calm down and just kind of assess it on my own. And long story short, after a week, it started to get worse and worse because the anxiety was making it worse.
Yeah.
And so I ended up just kind of going to an urgent care and just like getting checked out. And it was kind of this long story of me being misdiagnosed and then kind of looking at what the symptoms of the misdiagnosis was and then just feeling more anxiety. It was this weird vicious cycle that I felt for a couple months.
Wow.
And but I didn't think the anxiety was a part of my life because it never was.
Right.
And to see it manifest in such a way, it really wrecked me. I didn't give anxiety enough credit as an issue for me to even assume that this could possibly happen.
Yeah.
I just was like, clearly I'm sick in a number of ways. And, I may die, like my dad did. And, as a man of faith, it's kind of hard to say, right? It's kind of hard to admit that, I was kind of shooken like that, but I was. And shaken, not shooken. Shooken isn't a word. Shaken?
Shooken is not a word?
Shooken?
Shooken?
Shooketh. I know that's the meme.
Shooketh.
Shooketh. Shooketh.
Shaken?
Shaken. Yeah, I think it's shaken. To admit that I was shaken like that. But yeah, I just, as I began to just understand what was going on with me and, and God was there every step of the way. I began to slowly just heal, but also have a better understanding of what anxiety was and also a better understanding of how to handle anxiety in the workplace. Like I do a lot of stuff on stage and there's some anxiety that comes with that. And, when I don't have a full team on the worship team, for example, it's like, how are we going to make this work and other things and technical difficulties. And, we just had service this Sunday, and it was just like we were kind of understaffed and we're running around. See, she's laughing. She knows. Like, we were working together on that one. Like, you, me, and Amy were on.
I went home that day and
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to relive this.
I
I was like, what a day.
Yeah, that was a tough one, but I know that there were parts of it that we both kind of just like saw the worst case scenario in, and we're like, oh no, and then it was like, oh, it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, there are people here, and they love us.
Thank goodness
and they
for the
stepped in
people
and
we
helped
have
us.
in this church.
Yeah.
Literally.
Literally,
they make everything so much better.
yeah, but anxiety is such a real thing. As a youth pastor, I see it all the time in my students, and it's heartbreaking to see the damage it can do to younger minds.
I mean, I know for me, don't laugh at this part, Alex.
What?
Don't laugh at this.
Okay, you got it.
Okay. But for me, how I cope with my anxiety,
Go ahead.
I sing. Come on.
I was clearing my throat. I was clearing my throat.
Because I can sing. I'm just kidding. Alex and I have this joke. Did we already tell the people this? Yes, we did. First episode, we told people I want to be on the worship team.
Yeah.
And he won't let me. Whatever. But
Application's
literally,
in the mail.
yeah,
I
my
gotta send it
application
in- I
has
gotta
been
send it to
lost
corporate
for
first
10 years.
and get it approved.
Whatever.
And then I'll stamp it, and then we'll be good to go.
No, but for real, like music and worship music gets me through.
Yeah.
Like literally, even when I was standing there on Sunday and I could feel the anxiousness like start to happen, I just pushed deeper into worship.
That's good.
And I just let whatever I was feeling drop to the wayside, and I just focused on the Lord.
Yeah.
Because I knew I had an assignment. I knew I could not back out. And I had to do it.
Yeah.
Not only for like, the church or Pastor Dave or whoever, but for God.
Yeah.
Like, he called me here. Who am I to like back away from that?
Right. Yeah.
Like, why would I think like, no, not me? Well, then I wouldn't be here if it wasn't me.
Right.
It would be somebody else.
Right.
And clearly it's not.
Exactly.
You know? So in like that split second, I had to make a decision. Like, push forward or what? What are you going to do, Steph? That's pretty much what I told myself. And I pushed forward and I pressed into God. And when you do that, when you're in the middle of like those anxious moments and anxious thoughts, like he just comes over you and floods you with this overwhelming presence and peace that is like no other. And I'm so grateful for that because we don't have to be stuck.
Yeah.
We've both been Christians for so long. We know that we don't need to be like stuck in that anxiousness for like days. We have resources we can tap into.
Yeah.
The Bible is one of them.
Yeah.
Scripture, right? So it's getting a lot easier as you get older and as you walk with the Lord. It's getting easier to pull yourself out of those moments.
Yes. Yes.
And to get your mind back on track, to open the Word, to read what he says about you, and to live that part out. It's getting easier. Not that it doesn't happen, because it does. But we can pick ourselves up at the end of the day.
Yeah. That's good. That actually, thank you. That was beautifully said. Yeah, that reminds me too. I also, have the way that God proves to me that he can, just pull me out of that, is every Sunday morning that I'm like really stressed about worship and how it's going to sound and how it's going to go. We have, for those that don't know, we have pre-service prayer, from 8:30 to 9. It was 8:30 to 9, right? Yes. Yeah. 8:30 to 9. Service starts at 9. 30 minutes before we have pre-service prayer, and Pastor Dave was really adamant about adding this to the day. And we have our like sound check. We used to have it like right before service started, but we had to move it up to 8 to 8:30. So it was a little more inconvenient. And I'm always tempted. I'm so tempted to, from that 8:30 to 9 window, to set things up, to plug things in, to check out things. But I always pull myself away and I go to prayer.
Yeah.
And every single time that I feel so heavy with anxiety and worry, even when I sit down and I'm like, I'm struggling to focus in right now.
Yeah.
Every single time. Listen, every single time that I do it, every single time, even if I feel like I have nothing to give, just the act of, because that's an act of sacrifice.
Right.
You're sacrificing your handle on what little control you have. And you're like, I am giving this away.
Yeah.
I'm giving away the time that I could potentially use to prepare and saying that you're more important, right? Every single time I sit down and I just close my eyes and I focus in for that few minutes,
Yeah.
Maybe not even the whole window, but I take that time every single time. God just moves, and it's always so powerful. And 9 times out of 10, I can't control like my tears. It's just like, it's such a powerful thing to be humbled in that moment, to be like, what am I doing? Like, how could I get so far removed from what this is?
Yeah.
This is worship. This is worship.
Yeah.
This isn't concert time. This isn't like set up the music to make it sound perfect time. This is worship time. And
Right.
to, so many times we all do this. We forget what it is.
Yeah.
And what's important. And God shows up every single time.
Every time.
That reminded me of what you said, pressing into worship, because, unfortunately I don't always have the opportunity to just focus on worship because I'm doing worship.
Right.
And that's not, to complain, because it's a privilege to do it. I love doing it.
Yeah.
But that's, for me, is when I'm able to press in. And I had to look up that scripture in Philippians. You've all heard it. But Philippians 4:6, it says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." There is a very clear order of things.
So powerful.
Right? like don't be anxious. And it's not an empty statement. It's not saying
Right.
don't be anxious. Just stop it. Just stop it.
Yeah.
No, it's saying, look, it comes with prayer.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Like when you seek that freedom from anxiety, and you follow that seeking and that longing for that freedom from anxiety by prayer and supplication,
Yes.
watch what happens. The promise is the peace of God,
So
right?
true.
Which surpasses all understanding,
Yep.
right? That peace is just so unique and trademark Holy Spirit God right
Yeah.
there, right?
Yep.
It's gonna come on you,
Yeah.
like guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Seek Him,
Exactly.
and watch, and yeah.
I feel so peaceful.
Yeah, right? Isn't it? I don't know
No,
why
it's true.
why we forget so much. Why I forget so much, but it's just like,
I mean, we all do. It's just, that's why we need that reminder.
yeah,
It's so important because we all forget sometimes, and it doesn't matter if you've been serving the Lord one day or 50 years.
Yeah.
We always need that reminder.
Yes.
And because no one's perfect.
yeah,
And sometimes we let things come into our mind, but man, scripture is powerful and it overcomes
yeah,
big time.
yeah, absolutely. So
I love that. So I feel like if anyone, listening, it struggles with any type of anxiety, don't be afraid to reach out, because we're here. We have resources. I mean, I know we said, open the Bible and look for scripture, but if you feel like you need to talk to someone
Yeah.
or, if you just need, just quality time
yeah,
to just talk about what you're dealing with, we're here.
yes, absolutely.
This is a platform where we can show you who we are. And, we're very open about, the pain we've been through in our life
yeah,
and how it affects us. So, that you're safe with us.
yeah, for sure. And it kind of extends past the email that we've been plugging. But like, if you want to reach out to us physically, like you know where we're at. We're at the church. If you're listening and you're from our church, you know where to find us. Like, find us and talk to us. Like we have a lot to say, clearly. But we'd love to, just actually have a one-on-one with you and talk with you guys about, what we've learned and just chop it up. You never know. So we want to be here for you guys. And so please, take us up on that.
We will make the time. If we looked overwhelmed on a Sunday, it's just because we are.
Yeah.
But we have time for you.
Yeah. That's the thing to mention too. Like that's our first priority is you guys. Like
exactly.
Everything else we do, the music and all that stuff, it's there, and we have a job to maintain that, but we're here for you guys. And so even if we can't talk in the moment, like reach out to us and we'll make some time for you. If not in the immediate moment, we'll find time.
We always find time.
Day to chat with you and try to help and pray over you and just, link arms, That's what we want.
Yeah.
That's our job.
I like how we went to a prayer meeting last Tuesday, and is it the superintendent of the Assemblies of God? Nick Furtado was speaking.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And he said, this isn't a calling, but it's more of an assignment from God.
Yes.
And so we've been given this assignment to be here for you listening and, be that ear and that person that you may need. So, don't be afraid to reach out.
Yes.
Because that's why we're here. God assigned us here for this specific reason. So tap into it.
Yes.
Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid. We're not scary. We don't bite.
Well, sometimes that could be a little scary.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. Just kidding.
No, for real though. We love you guys, and
we do.
We want to be there for y'all. So please take us up on that. I don't know time wise where we're at because I don't. The jerry rig I mentioned earlier has my laptop out of the room, so we may have gone over. And
that's
apologies
fine.
if we did, but
totally
honestly, this was good stuff, and so I'm glad that we were able to talk about it.
This was pretty much like a God-defined moment.
Yeah, I agree.
Totally.
I don't think
not
it was
planned.
coincidence. Yeah.
Yeah. This was not planned for this specific time.
Yes.
We were just like, all right, we got to do this, and then God pretty much did it.
You just filled in the blanks, right?
Literally.
100%.
Because I was like, okay, caffeine, water, kick in, and then it's like, nope.
Activate.
God, kick in.
Yeah. So if you feel like, hey, this was for me, like I needed to hear this.
Yeah, let us know.
Please, like we want to hear that. Please, like even if it's just like, hey, this was for me. Hey, hi. That's it. Like we don't need a story or anything. We just want to hear confirmation from you guys. Like hit us up on our email, expansionpodcast@gtcc@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And if you do want to share just like what you feel we hit on, let us know. And if you don't want us to shout it out, we can totally keep it anonymous, but we just want to hear from you. Yeah. And, it's cool when God does God things like this and we see the evidence of what it was. And it's like, oh, wow, that was really cool. It's encouraging to us too. Yeah. So we'd love to hear it. But, yeah.
This is great.
Right? This is cool.
The day it turned out pretty great.
Right? This is pretty rad.
It's not over yet.
Yeah, it's not over for you especially.
For me, I got a few more hours. What time is it? Oh yeah, got a few more hours.
Oh, okay. So you got an event tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we'll cut it off here. I do want to say just to generate some hype, and we'll probably mention this on social media, but we recorded an episode earlier today. We kind of talked about that. We actually had the honor of interviewing somebody very special today. It kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But our next episode, we will be interviewing Republican governor candidate for Rhode Island, Ashley Kalis. She
Yes.
stopped by the pod.
She did.
And
She hung out with us, Alex.
she hung out with us. That's so crazy. It's episode 4. Like, what?
She was so nice.
She was the best. She was super chill. She talked just about her platform, the things that she's believing for Rhode Island. And so we're really excited about that episode that will be dropping next time.
Yep.
So stay tuned. And just shout out to her for coming onto the podcast.
Yes,
But
thank you, Ashley.
yes, much love. But yeah, I think that'll do it.
God bless.
God bless. I was gonna ask if you had anything to say, but
Yes.
yeah, God
May
bless.
God bless you
God,
and keep you.
yes.
I was gonna start singing
Let
the
your
blessing.
face shine upon you.
Let your
Be-
face shine upon you.
Just end with singing that song.
One of these days, I'm gonna sing. I'm gonna
Yeah.
sing, and you're not gonna be able to stop me.
You're
because
right.
You're gonna have to go run.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
shut
Just
it off.
gotta because the laptop's in the other room, so I gotta
Laptop's
run down the
in other
hall.
room. So,
Yeah.
all right, everybody.
Yes,
We
love
love
you.
you.
Take it easy.
Have
Be
a wonderful
safe,
day.
and have a wonderful day.
Be blessed.
Be blessed. Bye.
Bye.